Hey, what's up, everybody? MichaelTheArch here. Today we are out on Call of the Wild, and I am going to be answering some questions and showing some things that have been much requested, and that is all about the firing ranges, or the ranges, shooting ranges, firing ranges, target shooting ranges, or whatever you want to call it. They go by many different names, but they're all basically the same thing. So, just a place for you to go and test your aim and dial in exactly how you get there. So, here on Hirschfelden, if you're on console, it is included with your base game, and you don't have to do anything special. Now on Steam, I don't know if it's included with the base game now or not, but I believe I had to download a free DLC that added this to Hirschfelden. So if you don't have it on your map, you may have to download that free DLC, and it's just ranges or something like that, shooting range or something like that for Hirschfelden. So first off, I'm going to show you where we're at. This is the first cabin that you come to, and so you start out about right here and you come up here. So this over here, which says undiscovered for some reason, is actually your shooting range in Hirschfelden. So now I can fast travel over there, but I'm going to show you how to get there. I am going to grab 4x4 and I'm going to head right on over that way. It'll put me down a waypoint. So here we go. You can see it's about 770 away, 770 meters away. Now right now I do have this set to meters, and I'm going to show you something with that here in a minute. The reason I have that set to meters. But you simply just drive over here on this pathway, go across the bridge. You go across this bridge right here, and from there you're headed right to the range. Here we are. So let's go ahead and pull over here and park, and let's go. Okay, so here we are, and the first thing I want to show you is you have a cache here. And you can just come in here and grab any weapon you want. You can set up a loadout or whatever you want to do, and then go out here and test it. You do have to have ammo. So you have to have at least one ammo of whichever ammo you're testing, basically. So it's not going to tell you much based on the actual a different ammo, unless it's something like on one of the muzzle loaders that has two different ranges. So in here you have your control box, and these are all set. If you look at the top, it's got meters, and at the bottom it has feet. This is because I guess they don't want to put points on here. So 50 meters is not going to be like 50 yards. It's going, and 164 yards is not going to be, or 164 feet might not be exactly 50 meters, but they've just sort of rounded it off. So you click on the one you want, and then if you do shoot something and you want to reset your scores or your grouping, when you shoot something, it'll show over here on the right on the target, and to reset that, you just click that, and you're good. So you can see we're at 50. It's approximately 50 right here. So this is where you're about where you're supposed to be setting. I would highly recommend at least crouching when you're doing this, if not going on and going all the way down to prone. It tremendously helps, and you'll be able to test things much more accurately if you're actually prone. Now out here on Hirschfelden, you actually have 8 bays So you have 8 different targets, and every single target has its own reset. So you go to whichever one you want, and as you can see, they're all exactly the same. So you can come down to 1 if you want. I usually go to number 7, either 8 or 7. I tend to like 8 or 7 better because at one point at least there was grass in front of this one. So if we go back and we push it all the way back, we might be able to see that. And you see this grass here, you lay down, that grass is a little bit in your way, and that's what I'm talking about. So now let me explain this again really quick. These, when you're at exactly the point that you want, you can use this if you want to gauge your range and get exactly where you want. The binoculars, these are unlocked later in the game, so you might not have access to these to start with. So just, this is about where I'm at, probably about 1.5 foot back from the carpet. So the range here on Hirschfelden is more for rifles than anything else, but you can use this for anything you want. So just to show, and you want to zero in to the closest thing to it. So for 50 meters, I've got a 75 meter, and you see it, it's right there on the screen, and it shows me where I hit it. Now we're going to change that, and if you want to change that, you just simply go to System, Gameplay, and Unit System, and you can change it to Imperial or Metric, whichever one you want. So again, we're about right there, and if you look, it is saying that it is 54.67 yards. So I just wanted to show that there is definitely a difference. So at 100 meters, you're actually going to be at, it's about 110, and I actually have the exact distance for you. So at 50 meters, you're going to be shooting at 54.68 yards. At 100 meters, you are actually shooting at 109.36 yards. At 150 meters, you're going to be shooting at 164.04 yards. At 200 meters, you're shooting at 218.72 yards. At 250 meters, you are shooting at 273.4 yards. At 300 meters, you are shooting at 328.08 yards. At 350 meters, you are shooting at 382.76 yards. At 400 meters, you're going to be shooting at 437.44 yards. At 450 meters, you are shooting at 492.12 yards. And at 500 meters, you would be shooting at 546.81 yards. So a lot of people will come in here and they'll throw this on if they are using, now if you're using meters, this is fine, but if you're using yards or the imperial system like I do, note that these two are, you need to kind of go in between those to reach that 400 yard mark, which a lot of animals seem to pop up at about 400 yards. Your good shots on them are going to be from there across a lake or something. You actually would want to set it to this and get back all the way. That's going to be more about where it would actually be. So if you go with this, you just want to get right up as close to the front as you can. And there you go. That is your distances explained. And here I will throw in a chart so you can see those numbers. All right, we have set it to 150 meters, which is going to be 164 yards. And just to confirm, it is at 164 right there. So what we're going to do is just kneel here. And the reason you want to come out here is to test zeroings. So you're at 82 yards here. This is the 300 Magnum. And you can see it actually, it shoots at the low zeroing. It shoots dead on almost at that range. If we go to 164, it actually shoots just a little bit high. I'm going to go back to 82. And you can see it shoots just a little bit lower than it. So you just got to know where to place your shots, and that's what this is all about. So the next thing you might want to do is look at, say, something like the 243 here. And if you were to shoot at that distance with the 243, you can see at that zeroing, you can see that it absolutely drops. So let's go back and let's shoot at the proper zeroing. And you see it's about perfect. It is a little bit low, and that's fine. And then if you want to see, if you look at this one, it says 164. This is the 4570. And you can see it actually is shooting a little bit down and to the right. All of the guns right now shoot to the right a little bit for some reason. I'm not sure why. But we are going to go on, and we're actually going to take this and we're going to set it up to 300 meters. And this is where this comes in very handy, because at 300 meters, you're at 328 yards. Just to show you, 329. There we go, 328. All right. So I am going to put it right there. You can see I'm dead on where I'm shooting at. Now, that was the 300. This is the 243. The 243, at the same zeroing, not going to shoot at the same place. You can see it drops much lower. Now, why is that? And I will show you. You come in here and you press this for 250 or 270. It's 273 yards. And I will show you that again, just to make sure. All right, so see it's about 274. So we're zeroed for 328 yards. And you see we hit dead on. So this is going to shoot at right at 273 when it's zeroed for 328. Every time. So that is the range. That, to me, the gun is messed up. It should say that zeroing is 273 and not 328. That's something on the devs, but just so you can see that there is a difference, and that's what the ranges are for. So now our next gun, if you look here, this is the 4570, and at the 164 yard range, we've actually got this out here at the 200, I think 218. It's at 218. So this should technically shoot right below it, right? You see how much it drops. So you've got to really know your guns. And you see, it helps you to zero in on exactly where you would want to shoot from different distances. So that's how I go about that a lot. Now I'm going to go down here, set it back to 50. And this time, if you want it to, you could come out here. You have your shotguns. And we're going to, now this is at 50. So you see how the shotguns scatter. we go at 27, you see it's about the same scatter pattern. We're going to reset it just so you can see specifically what I'm talking about, though. At 27, it's still going to do it. Now we're at 82. And at 82, you notice everything comes up. So that can tell you, oh, hey, wait a minute. This is not exactly how I might want to do this. So if you are, in my opinion, if you're going to be shooting at 82 or at a 0 end of 82, it does need to be above the 54 yards. But you can see that we're not getting anywhere close to it. So that one, we actually got a better pattern. So you need to hold a little bit over so it can help you learn where to shoot with your iron sights. For instance, if we were to come out here and we had these iron sights, you can see that it does help you learn where to shoot at with them. A lot of the iron sights, it might be right at the top of that, and it might actually be just under it. So it depends on the weapon that you're using. Now, another thing you can do is, again, with iron sights, you could come out here and you could practice your aim with your pistols. You can test the aim of your pistols at long ranges, or what a lot of people don't know is that the pistols, different pistols, drop off further than other pistols. For instance, this is the 357 Magnum, and the 454 will reach to that point, no problem, without dropping, really. So, say you want it to take a long shot, you found something that's 164 yards or 150 meters away, you can only 0 to 82 yards. You come out here and you say, all right, when I'm at that spot, I want to shoot that deer. Where do I need to aim? So you can see that you'd aim more probably about the top of the back of something than dead on at that range. So that helps with that. And now we're going to go over here. And if you want to actually remove them completely, you can just click the same one again. We're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you how those work here. All right. So you see that you've got your bow here. Now, the bow ranges are 43, 21, and 65. So you could set here with your different, like your different bow sights, and you see that we're up high with that. So we actually held probably close to at 50 yards or 54 yards, we hold closer mid bottom, and we're hitting there. So if we were to go back to this, we would know that we could hold. Now that one got away from. We would know that once the middle one hit about where we wanted it, the orange part, that say, all right, with this one, we were holding here. All right, so with this one, we want to hold that about the orange part there. And what that's going to do, if you notice, it's different every time. That's because of the wind and steadiness. So you can see that it's different on each sight. You need to pick what you need to do. So this, I'm actually going to hold this sight just below the red, and that's doing better for me. Now on this sight, it's at the bottom of the black that I'm wanting to shoot. Up a little bit. And you can see I'm getting better at the bottom of the black as opposed to the bottom of the red. So it helps you with different sights. Now, one thing I will show you is you can do 100-meter shot with the hawk edge reliably, actually, and at 65, you won't hold for about right here. Maybe. Am I doing this wrong? I think I am. That's 100 meters. So yeah, it should be. Huh. Let's see if it does it this time. I switched them out. Nope. All right. So this will. That's a little bit better. So what I'm doing is I am imagining another pin below that one about the same distance, and I'm putting it in there that way to get to that 110. So you can do what you need to do that way. This range is very limited when you're going to be shooting bows. So for the most part, you're going to want to shoot stuff with, instead of, if I can find the right one, instead of shooting stuff at long range with this one, you want to shoot it at the shortest range. So you can see the difference of where to aim here. And then if I was to switch this to the 43 yard, you can see it actually goes down quite a bit there. But now what I'm doing, I'm holding it, I'm looking at the target here, try to get the shaft of this about where I want it. So let's try to, at 43, zeroing, hit a little bit better. We want to get at least close to the red, so that's close enough. Going back to the 65, and you can see that we need to go down at that point, and you can judge where you need to go with stuff that way. So finally, I'm going to show you the crossbow, and the crossbow, you want to aim right in that center. And actually it's at the top one, sorry. So you want to aim at the top one. I'm not sure on the ranges of the crossbow right off the top of my head. I used to know, but you can see we just smoked that. Boom, there we go. So you can use these to go out here and figure out your different distances. However, if you are wanting to use the bow, specifically the bow, and test it out, there is a better option if you own Parque Fernando. All right, so here we are on Parque Fernando. This is the main lodge area. It is where you actually have a lodge. You can see we've got the diamond stuff in here, and this is located right here at the Prados de Lupinos area, and it is called Casita de Martita. So you want to come here, and your lodge, or not your lodge, but your range is going to be right down in this area here. So right here. And if you look, you can see the thing right there. I'm going to mark it. So you can see it's right here on your map at -8440.162, comma 7873.946. Now, anybody who has Parque Fernando will have this, and this one is going to be more for bows. It is great for bows, shotguns, and for handguns, and I prefer it for all three of those, actually. It's got different ranges that really help out, but also it is good for rifles, especially the shorter range rifles, and I will show you why here. Now, you can stand back and you're going to get a different distance. They have changed this, by the way. At the moment, there was a rock right here, in front of this one, and you can now see this. This used to be at 85 yards out. It is now closer. I'm not sure why they have done this, but if you look here, they have actually put trees in front of the red deer, which obscure him quite a bit more, and it's going to be a lot harder, especially using a bow, to hit him. I don't know why they've decided to do this, but hopefully they will remove them soon. All right, so again, as with Hirschfelden's range, as I said, it all depends on where you stand. These are specific ranges though, and I've set this to meters to show you first. This one is actually supposed to be at 15 meters. So you can look and see that it's actually at 18.56. There's going to be a negative to +5 discrepancy on each one of these. So just keep that in mind. Depending on where you're standing depends on where you're actually at. And it's good to bring the binoculars to actually judge where you're at. So what we will do is I have got the good old 6.5, and we are going to shoot this one. So once you hit that, it'll pop up, and you can see it says a score of 10, distance of 15. Now the distance of this in yards is 16.4 yards based off of what they are saying it is. So I will also at the end of this put up a chart to show exactly where each thing is and the conversions again. So your cinnamon teal is at 20 meters. You've got a puma. He is at 25 meters. A water buffalo. He is at 35 meters. Then you start over. You have another black buck. He's at 50 meters. You have another water buffalo. He is at 70 meters. And then way out here, you have a red deer. And he's at 100 meters. So I'm going to switch out and show you those again in the Imperial and show you that when you shoot, I'm going to tell you feet. So instead of telling you the yards, which it should do, it tells you feet. So 49 feet, 66 feet, which is 21 yards, 82 feet, which is 27.34 yards, 115 feet, which is actually 114.83 feet when you convert it, and it is going to be 38.28 yards. Over here, this guy's 164 feet, so he is 54.68 yards. Over here, this guy is at 230 feet, and that's going to be right at 76.55 yards. And again, our red deer, 328 feet out there, and he is going to be right at 109.36 yards. So there you go. And just so you can see with this, this gun has absolutely no problem. This is the 6.5. I can shoot anything I want at the lowest zeroing and hit whatever I want. This is a great gun. Now you have 3 platforms here. You've got the wooden platform. You have the ground blind, which is here. And you can see it's going to tell you exactly the same distances. It tells you the same distances no matter which of these you're at, but you do have the ground blind. And then you also have your tall blind, your hunting stand. And one thing I'll show you is that this is, if you have a different gun like the 300 or something, it's actually very hard to hit. So down here, that's no problem. But this guy, what you end up doing is shooting the door right here with some of the weapons. So be aware of that you will shoot the door instead, or you'll actually shoot the blind itself, the hunting structure itself instead. Now, if you look, we can still shoot that through that tree, but if we shoot just a little too low, it will not hit. So that's why I say they need to remove those. But it does help. All right, so we're going to show a few more things. I'm going to reset, and this guy is going to be 115 feet out, which is 38 yards. So we want to go for this one out here instead. He's 328 or 109 yards out. Just say about 110. So right here, we have the Zarza 22 LR, and you can see that if you zero for different things on it, now this one actually is exactly at the middle zeroing of 109. So you can see why this is better range for this gun. And you can see how it actually helps you quite a bit. Say you want it to do this here. Or just say you want it to do that. So this will greatly help you when using closer ranges with 22. When using something like the air rifle, I highly recommend using both ranges to figure out stuff. But as you see, a perfect distance at 109, and that's a perfect thing. Now, this one is going to be 38 yards total, and you can see how high it actually shoots there. So let's try the 27, and that's dead on at that side, or that distance. And then that one is a little bit, actually it's about dead on as well. I would say use the 54 for that then. So this will help you learn where you need to go. This guy, Black Buck 2, is going to be 54 yards, so it should be perfect for this. And then, say this one here is actually 76 yards, so it can teach you a good distance, a good place to shoot with your different scopes. Now, you don't have to use the Argus like I am. You can use others. So, for instance, if I go up from the 54 yards, I go up to the first dot, and that's going to about double the distance of this gun. So if I was to go down to 27 yard zeroing, we're going to try the second dot. And you can see it's way high still. So I went 1.5 dots down, basically. So 1.5 down. And you can, that way you can learn how to do stuff. And if you don't have zeroing capabilities for all three zeroings, then you don't need to go out and rush to get those if you go to the rangers like this. Now, again, if you're using shotgun, say you want it to hunt a kill, see at 27 yards, it has a huge grouping on it. Is at 27 yards. That's, no, 21 yards. At 16 yards, it has a huge grouping right in the middle as well. So, and it is zeroed for 27. So, that would be great for that. Now, if you were to look here at the 54 yards, it's still going to do good. And you can see as I get higher in the zeroing, the higher that they are on the bottom as well. So with the 54, you can see that's where the 82 was right there, and then this one goes down. So you can learn a lot with each gun. All right, we can see that we got that. Sure, we got that guy. Now this guy is at 76 yards out. And I just want to show we did hit it, but you see how much it scatters? If we go up here to 82 yards, it's a lot of a tighter pattern. But it's still really low. So, and also if you look, a lot of them, if you hold low like that, you're actually hitting the ground. So, dead on, and I'm hitting the ground in front of it quite a bit. I hold just at the top of it, and I'm not. So, the shotguns are not reliable at the longer distances. You can see I got a little bit of that one. And it pays to come out here and actually use these. So, now we've got the 44 Magnum, and we're going to just show it off a little bit. So, right here, we're at 27 yard zeroing, and we just smoked them. We just blew away that cinnamon teal. So at 27 yard zeroing, we're very accurate. 54. We're still very accurate. But then we get out there and we're not even hitting that guy. So we're going to go up to the 82. For some reason, it's going way over. Very weird. Zero in. And all right, so let's aim just above his right leg. Maybe that's what's going on. And yeah, that's what it is. So you can see how reliable a handgun can be at those distances. We just got a 10. If you know about where to aim and you want to take a chance, you can do it. There we go. So, finally, this range is 100% completely intended for bows. So, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get our bow ready. And you can see that our wind is really bad, so this will help you learn how to use the wind as well. Now this guy is at 27 yards, so we should hold just a little bit above and to the right for the wind. There we go. This one is going to be at 38 yards. So I'm going to actually go down here. And you see, now the way that these work is whatever you're zeroed at, 43, it should be about 10 yards more for each one. About 10 meters more for each one, I think. So at 43 yards, we're actually about 3 yards over, or well, about 5 yards over. So we're going to hold it down just a little bit. And you see it actually doesn't. So that's a little bit closer, but at that distance out there, that bow or that wind is really bad. And it is a crosswind, so it's taking our shots way over. All right, let's try to get this. There we go. We got one. All right, so 65 yards. This is the 50-yard one out here. And I don't think we actually hit it at all. I'm not sure where it's hitting it at. Let's run out here and see. I hear it hitting, but I am not 100% sure where it's at. So if you look, we actually would have got him. That first one was way over here. These are way too close, though. Or they're pretty close, but it's still not in the thing. So we need to go back out here, and we can learn from our mistakes. Now, I will show you, and hopefully this will work. With this crosswind, I'm kind of doubting it, but we will attempt this still. So you can come out here, and boom. We learned from that. With that kind of crosswind, all right. So we know that it's right in there. We're going to go above it, and there. We're going to hit this guy. And I just want to show that if the wind cooperates at all, you can hit that target. Hopefully we can. I don't know if it's actually hitting it because I think that the tree may be knocking it off. Yeah, I don't see anything on it. So unfortunately, I think the tree is knocking it off. We'll go for this guy here. He's 78 out. And that's going to be a little bit above. So let's just go right there to start with. I think we went too high. I would use tracers, but I don't like the idea of the tracers blinking when I'm trying to do the other things. So I'm not sure where we're actually hitting this one. Let's take a look. And it looks like it's going way over to the left there. So that's a good bit to the left. I'm nowhere near the thing, apparently. I think that's definitely the wind that's doing it. Let's hold dead on. Yeah. Now let's take a look. So they're still in that area and actually down in here now too. So I think that if we were to hold on the one below, right there, we start to hit it. So you can see how you can teach yourself to use the different bows and stuff. Now with this one, this is the curve bow. I am going to use the recurve and the long bow. Just so you know, each arrow has its own thing as well, its own distance it'll do. So at that point, it's starting to get a little bit unruly, but we still managed to nail it. Go for 43. Right, a little bit higher, and we're doing good. All right, so that was the black buck. I don't think we actually hit. No, we didn't. So not sure what the deal is with him, but I'm not going to mess with him longer. So the next one that we have is the longbow, and just to show you, the longbow is actually a little bit less powerful. It's not dead on as the recurve bow usually is, simply because it's just a little less powerful, but it's still a great bow. If you're hunting big game with the higher powered arrows, the bigger the arrow, the bigger the bow, basically, is what you want to do. So you see we're having more of a problem with that guy. See if we can. Oh, yep, we got it. Okay. And that guy out there, just throw one out. It's not even registering that we're hitting out there. So you can see that with these bows, it's not reliable to do that at all. However, what about the crossbow? Well, if you put the crossbow on the low zeroing, then you can easily go in there, get you a 10, get you a 10, 10. All right, so let's go for the 43. All right, got a 10. This guy's going to be a little bit further out, so we're going to hold a little higher. There we go. So if you look, we're shooting at mid right there. Sorry, I've got hiccups. This guy is at 76 yards. So that's over our 65. Let's just shoot at 65 to start with. See how far down that went. So I'm going to say that was good. Now, at 65 out here, let's shoot here. Let's go ahead and trade. Did it work? All right. 65 zeroing. You can see we actually got pretty close to it. I would say that's a dead red deer. So we can reliably shoot where we want this. That way, if you want to do archery, you can take this as long as you know what each one do. Now, as with the others, well, the other bows, each arrow or each bolt is going to be different for every single individual bow. Besides the two coders, they'll be the same on each of those because it's the same bow, just a different variation. But that is all about the ranges and how they work, how you can use them, where they're located, how to figure out where the heck to shoot at. If they happen to put out another range anytime in the future, I will try to cover it as well. But for now, that is it, and I will see y'all next time. If you like my content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.